Big East basketball is on your screen. What's up, everybody? I'm Tim Doyle alongside Seth Davis, Dennis Scott, Jamal Mashburn. You're watching TNT Sports College Basketball pregame presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. We got some teams that I grew up loving. Some great stars of the past. Georgetown traveling to DePaul. And I kid, but I'm also being serious, Seth. These two franchises, these two schools have struggled in years past. This year, a little bit better, some promise on both sides.
Well, recent coaching changes, of course. This is year number 2 of the Chris Holtmann era for DePaul. He had a great track record prior to this at Butler, and Ohio State brings a real sort of blue-collar approach. And, of course, Ed Cooley's going to bring the energy and the defense. They are recruiting extremely well. They're getting a major piece back tonight. And by the way, we're now in the NIL era, and the Big East is well-positioned if the system holds to compete because they don't have football. So these two programs have a chance to make some significant progress.
I'm not going to call you guys old, but you guys did grow up watching these teams, didn't you? And you remember these squads.
I'm mature.
I'm seasoned. I'm seasoned.
What excites you about this game, 3D?
Well, just what Seth's talking about. I grew up in the era where the Big East was the household sport you wanted to watch when it comes from basketball. So Ed Cooley now has brought the swagger back to the DMV. He's figuring out how to keep a couple local kids and then bring in a guy from New York, bring a guy from North Carolina, and now you're mixing in. And to your point, with NIL the way it is, the D.C. area is like, hey, let's pour into Ed Cooley because he's bringing the cool back to DMV.
Well, for me, it's I grew up watching Big East basketball, specifically St. John's, Syracuse, and Georgetown. Patrick Ewing, watching them and how they got on the court, they reminded me of the Miami Hurricanes in the way that Miami Hurricanes football used to be, with that swagger, that intensity, that toughness, and John Thompson with that towel on the sideline. And for me, DePaul was Rod Strickland. You know, I grew up watching Rod Strickland out of New York City. He's a gaucho. I'm a gaucho as well, and played against him a little bit later in my life in the NBA. But when I look at Georgetown, they were my sleeper team coming into the season. When they went and lost to Dayton, it kind of confused me a little bit in how they lost. But I think Ed Cooley has the right temperature of the club. He has guards that can really play, can really get in the painted area. And in college basketball, that's a premium. You got to be able to control the guard play and also the paint area. And I think they have some room to grow, but they could be that 4th or 5th team getting into the NCAA tournament.
To your point, Mash, they average only 9 turnovers a game, Georgetown, so they take great care of the basketball. Problem is they don't shoot it great from deep. They're only averaging 6 made threes per game. As you take a look at the tail of the tape, you know, kind of evenly matched. DePaul last out, beat Xavier. Guys, 2 games before that, they were at Villanova, up 10 with 10 minutes left in the second half. Lost that game, but did not embarrass themselves. Andy Katz is in Chicago, and he was teasing to us during the game. He's going to give out his list of best DePaul players of all time. I think number 1's a given, but we could argue about that. Andy, you do have some big news there at the arena.
Yeah, that's right. Seth teased it, did not give it away. Good job by you, Seth, in the studio there. But if you go back to when Georgetown was playing really well early in the season, the reason that they had so much optimism, when they went 4-0 to start, when they beat Maryland on the road, when they beat Clemson, Vince Iwuchuku was sort of the main defensive player inside, that rim protector. He had 17 in that win over Clemson. Has not played since then due to a medical issue. He is available here tonight. Ed Cooley telling me that he hopes to play him around 18 to 20 minutes. First time since November 15th. He is a game changer for them defensively, and that's been part of the problem since that 4-0 start. Practiced well this afternoon here on this floor at Wintrust Arena. So if you've got Iwuchuku in the middle, roaming the paint, rim running, protecting that rim, that's a big difference for Georgetown. As for DePaul, you mentioned that start where they had to play the 3 best teams, arguably, in the Big East right now. We'll see about St. John's, but they played St. John's, UConn, and Villanova. They desperately needed to get right with that game against Xavier. They did. In years past, when DePaul would lose those kind of games, 3 in a row, it becomes 4 in a row, 5 in a row, and it steamrolls. But he's able to reset with this group. They were ready for that game against Xavier. They feel much more confident going into this one, which I think is a critical game for both schools to sort of restart the narrative here in the Big East.
Andy, we look forward to seeing you on the call of the game. Enjoy Chicago. If you want to go stop by Gibson's, I do have a tab. Ask for Kathy. So just run it up. Enjoy yourself in my city.
Oh, now it's your city.
Thanks so much, Andy.
You're in New York, and now it's your city.
Yeah,
You're going to always have this battle, man.
Well, Iwuchuku's back.
Yeah.
And for Seth Davis, we were kind of talking about this before the show, how much he meant to the squad. We don't know how many minutes he's going to play, according to Andy's report. But, Seth, he changes this team.
He completely changes the team. They didn't have any margin for error in the front court. The presence that he gives them offensively and defensively up front is tremendous. And there has been no talk, by the way, that he was on the verge of coming back. This is a young man who 2 years ago was at USC, highly recruited out of high school, and had a very frightening heart attack. Basically, his heart stopped, and they were able, thank God it happened at the training facility. Same thing happened to Bronny James, by the way, ironically, a year later, same building, same court.
Good call.
So this heart issue has been an issue with him. He's been 2 years at USC. Last year, he was at St. John's. No issues. Wasn't a huge factor for them, but they were a great team. So now he transfers over to Georgetown. He played great in their exhibition win at Kentucky. People say, well, it's just an exhibition. If you're Georgetown, you went to Kentucky at the time preseason top 10. That was huge. He played well, beating Clemson. Clemson only has 3 losses on the season. That was really big. So when he went out, it completely changed the dynamic of their team. I want to be very curious. First of all, I'm glad the young man is healthy and ready to play. Thank God for that, because these issues are very scary. What he brings his team, I don't know how much he can go tonight. And let me just say one more thing. If they are on the bubble, then the committee is going to look at 2 different Georgetown Hoyas teams, potentially. One with the big fella and one without him. And if they are an NCAA tournament caliber team with him in the lineup, they're going dancing.
And the only thing I'd add to that real quickly is because when he's on the floor, it's a different confidence. And in the center position, you talked about it earlier, when that paint feels protected, the guards get out there and they're getting the steals, they get out in transition. So now you're looking at secondary break versus half-court offense that, to your point earlier, they struggle at times making shots. That's why he's on the floor. The defense is night and day better.
It's going to be very interesting to see if he can play 18 to 20 minutes effectively. Being out that long period of time, your body is used to a certain level of conditioning.
How long did it used to take you?
I was a skilled player. You can put me out there right now.
That's different.
You just said Saturday. It took you a long time. You say it took some time.
I'm a former pro. This is a young man. You know what I mean?
He's a big guy.
Correct. He's a big guy, and then also you got to worry about.
Let me ask that question again. Now, remember back when you were in Kentucky, you might have tweaked the ankle or something. Well, how long did it take you to get back to being that skilled player you knew you would always be?
2 hours.
See, there you go. You see, Timmy, there you got to ask the question differently.
But for a guy like this, to expect him to go out and bang and rebound, and he has to have a higher level of conditioning and also stay out of foul trouble so he can be effective and patrol the paint. So it'd be interesting to see how much they play him, how they use them, and different things like that.
Dennis, you talked about the guards here. If you don't know about Georgetown's guards, KJ Lewis, Malik Mack, it's a dynamic backcourt. Malik Mack transferred from Harvard. What do you like about him, Dennis?
Well, he's patient. And when you talk about Harvard, well, I mean, he's a smart young man, too. So they'll make a lot of turnovers, understand where he is on the floor. When we look at some of these plays by the show, it's the spacing, how he's willing to get off the ball and still know when to attack. So I like everything this young man is doing. So if you look at this play right here, look, good ball pressure. Now he waits, gets off the ball, and then, Matt, you love this, talking about skilled player. Yeah. Don't wait, just rip and go. Now you're at the basket because there's no shot blocking down there. Same thing here. You get off the ball early, and then you're going to set a little breast screen. And now the defense gets lackadaisical. They say, we can't make shots. Well, I'm going to shoot this with confidence, leave it, splash. Now the defense says, I'm going to get up, put more ball pressure. This is what I love about Ed Cooley, Seth. Look at the space and look at the 2 screens away from the ball. Because there's no true center, well, same thing. A little wiggle, not my bag, get to the lane, lay the ball up. When this young man is playing with this kind of confidence and making good decisions, this is what makes Georgetown dangerous.
Yeah, and I always love backcourts when you have 2 dynamic guards. Both of them can make plays for their teammates. Both of them can score, make plays for themselves, and both of them can catch and shoot. So KJ Lewis, 2 really good seasons, solid seasons at Arizona, transfers to Georgetown. Now he's going to have a different type of role, and man, is he excelling in that role. My buddy Clark Kellogg would call him a stat sheet stuffer, 15 points per game. 5 rebounds a game. Don't you love rebounding guards? Look at him splitting the double team, going all the way to the rack. Great on the drive. He had 27 points against St. John's. He was 10 for 10 from the foul line. Now he's off the ball, going to catch, going to shoot. and he's going to splash. He's such a dangerous weapon. And again, just playing in space, having his hands ready. So if you get dribble penetration on the other side, he's on the weak side. You can see the big fella down low. Does he stay inside or does he come out? Mid-range jumpers are supposed to be dead, but when you make them, they're very much alive. These two guards can cook, and I promise you that Chris Holtmann and his guys have spent a lot of time the last few days devising a game plan to keep them in check.
Well, one thing you notice about Georgetown's guards and their team as well, they don't shoot a lot of threes, as you alluded to earlier, Tim. And sometimes in this day and age of copycat basketball, these guys are playing to their strength. Yes. Their strength is get downhill, put pressure on the defense, get to the free throw line, make open passes, and really play together as a unit. I like the mid-range game. I don't understand why it's left the game. To me, that's low IQ basketball when you don't shoot the mid-range.
Yeah, meanwhile, the best two players in the NBA, you could argue, are SGA and Jokic. And what are they best at? Mid-range jumpers.
How do you score?
Floaters, get in the lane. So to your point, but no one thinks like that. You're on an island right now. Everyone's doing the analytics game. So that's the backcourt for Georgetown. As for DePaul, you're going to see them a bunch on our network. And this is rare you could say this, guys. I actually see wins on this schedule when you look at their upcoming schedule.
Where?
I see Marquette at home. I see a game against Seton Hall they could win.
No.
By the way, last
Butler?
three times they played Georgetown, DePaul is 3-0.
Okay.
So
I see a win at Xavier and a win at Marquette. That's what I see.
Hey, guys, there were years when DePaul was barely winning a game in
the process. Trust the process.
They came off a game against Xavier where they win. They have 6 players in double figures. Seth, when you see Chris Holtmann's bunch, what type of identity do they have?
Well, the same identity that all of his teams have had, and that is to play together, play smart, and play tough, and be a squad where you have the whole is greater than the sum of your parts. The circumstances that he left Ohio State were extremely painful. And remember, he got fired with several weeks to go, and there was a lot of talk they're going to hire Dusty May. They ended up with Jake Diebler. But I talked to Chris Holtmann the day that he got fired. He was, as you can imagine, devastated. And so it was not clear whether he even wanted to go back into coaching. I always tell these guys, walk the earth for a year, but he really wanted to get back into it. And let's be honest, DePaul at the time and right now isn't considered like a great job, but it is in the city of Chicago, and it does have an unbelievable tradition. And all of these changes were already starting to happen in terms of NIL and with being able to pay some guys. And Chris Holtmann has something to prove. And I think that the way that his team plays, the talent isn't quite there yet. But the way that this team plays reflects the way his teams have always played. I think he's going to do great things at DePaul.
When you guys think of DePaul basketball, what comes to mind?
I think of DePaul versus Notre Dame with David Rivers versus Rod Strickland. And that's what I think of when I look at it. And then I go back further to Mark Aguirre and also Terry Cummings. So, and then I look at the whole of Chicago. DePaul reminds me a lot of St. John's of what it could be, because at the end of the day, one of the reasons why I left New York City was because I didn't want to stay in the projects in Queens.
They're Dallas Comedies.
So they got to figure out different ways to get people to stay in Chicago. They have a lot of talent. Dwayne Peavy, who's the athletic director, he was formerly at the University of Kentucky as an assistant athletic director. I chatted with him. They're building a practice facility. They have donors and people that want to support the program. They're going to need to bring all that attention to DePaul in order to keep some of these kids in that Illinois area to go to DePaul.
DePaul faithfuls, reach out to Rod Strickland, Mark Aguirre. Big shout out to Terrence Green. I talked to a lot. Now, I was teasing him because I played against them, Georgia Tech cross the street, and I did get the victory. But through all those wars, that's how a lot of us become good friends throughout the years. So DePaul is a great job. To your point, the team plays how the coach is teaching right now, but they do need more talent if we really want them to go big in the tournament.
Yeah, we're going to dive into Georgetown, how Ed Cooley is building a process there and going through it. He's in year number 3. They're getting better. They've lost some tough games. He's lost his cool on the sidelines. He was suspended recently. Brandon Macklin, one of the star players for DePaul. He was outstanding against Xavier as they got their first conference win. We're in Chicago, Mash. You know what I think of that city? Best city in the world, my friend.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.